Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Jade Empire Closed Fist walkthrough. All right, so I'm actually starting out with a dialogue here with Old Ming. Um, Old Ming here actually speaks in Tao Fang, so I'm not going to worry too much about speaking over him. I don't know, I don't know if that's a legit language or not, but anyway. So we're basically just going to talk a little bit about, I should say, he talks a little bit about the history, or that's what I asked him about anyway, of Two Rivers. I think he touched a little bit about spirits, but he doesn't really have a whole lot to say on that matter. Um, I'll be honest, I don't think he's got a whole lot that's all that useful to say about anything quite yet. He actually is a part of a side quest that's coming up. Basically, Kia Min at this point now is back at the school, and she was injured in the bandit attack. And Old Ming, I think it's Ming, has some information on basically how to heal her. So he is at least useful in that regard. Although he's kind of one of those NPCs that kind of flesh out an RPG. Is you might as well toss him in there. It's for flavor, I guess. So basically, his job here now, if you can call it that, or what he likes to do is try to take care of the old emperor's statue. I think this was Sagacious Tien, I think was his name. And he gives a little bit of history about him, I think. Or point out. No, I can't remember if it was actually Sagacious Tien or if it was Emperor's son. Oh, and then he does, so at this point now he's talking a little bit about the previous master that was here in the village. I don't know if we ever really find out what happened to the previous master. Maybe. So I guess stay tuned. But he does... Oh, okay, yeah, this is Emperor's son. Okay, so I'm sorry, it wasn't Sagacious Tien, I guess. So he does actually chat a little bit about him here. Ending the drought and earned him respect. So again, major plot point. I had mentioned that in the first video. The drought that Emperor's son ended was basically earned him a ton of respect, which maybe is funny now that I think about it a little bit more. For storyline reasons, it makes complete sense. But like in today's day and age, humans don't really end droughts. Not really on our. Not really something that we can do by ourselves. Anyways, he's talking about the spirits, and again, he doesn't really doesn't really tell us a whole lot on that subject. Yeah, this is more drought stuff. Riots claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. Jeez, really? Okay, maybe that's a little more extreme than I thought. The Emperor's own brothers were lost. That's pretty important too. Very important plot line stuff was that the Emperor's brothers died. Never is. Oh yeah. Oh man, I forgot about this little bit of conversation here. This is some pretty cool stuff here, where he talks about how he doesn't need to know, like this guy in particular, he says he doesn't really need to know exactly how the Emperor ended the drought. And it's not necessarily on the same lines of ignorance is bliss. I think that's just slightly different than what he's saying here. He says, and he makes a good example too, where he says the person doesn't ask the fisherman how he got his fish. He's like, I don't know how to fish, I just care that I get my food. So maybe it is a little ignorance is bliss, but anyways, so yeah, sort of. It's tough to make a case against that, but he does say that I just take for granted that some people are experts in some things, and we kind of leave it at that. So fair enough. But yeah, again, really cool game, well written for instances like that with these, sort of philosophy related questions. But anyways, let's see here. I'm still talking to this guy. Huh, okay. Yeah, and then I guess this is my final question we're asking about him. It sounds like his son sends him money so that he can live here. I don't know again if that's relevant at all. I don't know that we ever come across his son somewhere. But anyways, we're almost done speaking with him. I'm gonna speak with this other NPC here in a bit, and I guess before we actually talk to him, I'm gonna bring up once again. So the following or the next NPC that we'll talk to, he's actually here all the time, but the outcomes of this are dependent on whether or not you were able to save his father from the bandits earlier on. I know in other playthroughs I didn't realize it, but again, those bandits actually can kill the father. So
I'm so glad you and Master Lee arrived when you did. My father ran to the school gate to find students to help. Did he make it? Perhaps we lack the skill of you and your master, but we tried our best. Thank you for your effort, even if your manner is rude. Hopefully Master Lee can shed some light on what led to this. A sorcerer in our little village? What is wrong with the world?
God, alive and useless like the rest of you. That's all I say, man. This is just a feel bad dick move, or dick mode, for lack of a better term. It's just it's tough to play through on Closed Fist. But all right, so we're gonna speak with the next NPC here. Here you can kind of see the portraits starting to change a little bit because we're getting a little farther down the closed path route.
Dawnstar, there you are. I know I haven't spoken to you in a while. I saw him again last night, and I remembered what you said. I wasn't as afraid.
I'm glad, Mrs. Zhang.
He seemed peaceful, if a bit lost. But I know it's not your fault now. I'm sorry for disturbing you and for what I said before.
Remember Zhang Jin, her son? He drowned last year after the mooring she tied let go. A sad accident. I saw his spirit and told her. She thought I was calling up ghosts. Some spirits return because of trauma, to rectify something that disturbed them in life or death. They are very focused. When the pain is gone, they find rest. At least they are supposed to. Jin's spirit told his mother the accident wasn't her fault. Now he wanders, unconnected to this world and unable to pass to the next. Troubled spirits can be set to rest for a time, but unless the greater problem is corrected, it seems all dead are destined to wander until they go mad. I'm sorry, this has been difficult. I don't want to think about how it affects specific people. I'm still not sure I should have told Mrs. Zhang about her child. Sometimes I wonder, people can be so shallow. I guess blame is easier to understand than chance. Come on, we should go see if the students are all right. Master Lee will be waiting.
Okay, so that NPC was apparently being visited or terrorized by her son's ghost, it sounds like, and once again we just go with just the horrible answer of, hey, if someone or if there's a market for something, then you should charge for it. So
It's a good thing we have
all right.
Master Lee.
Anyways, this is the merchant Fendo.
Those bandits will think twice before threatening a town protected by the likes of Master Lee. They were fools to even come here. The only shame is that their ship sunk. Think what we could have done with their plunder. Well, that's another opportunity lost. In this town, it's vital for a businessman to keep tabs on anyone with 2 coins to rub together. Things haven't been this slow since the long drought. That master of yours keeps things ludicrously stable while merchants thrive on strife. During the long drought, prices rocketed into the sky like fireworks. I can't say that. He's a wise man who sees to the heart of things. If I were to complain about anything, it's how few students he attracts. A skilled master could bring a lot of people into this town, but he is very selective about who comes. That's his business, I'm sure, but it affects my business as well. Happily, we don't need to waste time on my gripes when there's silver to be spent. I have nothing at the moment. I can't keep my stock up. People are scared to travel, which prevents goods from getting here. I must apologize. I do what I can, but the ghosts and bandits limit travel. They viciously force many caravans to turn back. To hear some of the caravan masters talk, there are problems of this type all over the Empire. I will be sure to let you know as soon as anything comes to town. If you'd think the recent attack would have people buying supplies or weapons or something, but alas, business has not improved. Who could be more important than Master Li? He is the anchor of this town, and none question his wisdom. Two Rivers has always accepted the masters of your school as leaders, but none have taken to it with the skill, authority, or wisdom of your master. No different from anyone else. If you keep to yourself, no one bothers you. Well, you are always asking questions. That can be tiring. Although I do prefer that over Gao's posturing, he is not well liked. But his father has money, so he gets his way. I've never set my eyes beyond the horizon you can see from here. There must be someone else you could ask. I send my thanks to the spirit for successful journeys just like everyone else. I don't have any special insight. Why not ask your friend there? Dawn Star knows more about the spirit realm than anyone, it seems. She's been a great help from time to time.
I do what I can to help, good merchant. That's all any of us can do.
I grew up during the worst of it, but I don't remember much. Just the joy when the Emperor put an end to it. Two Rivers was almost deserted by that time, but Master Li arrived soon after, and we've had peace ever since. I don't know. That's why the Emperor is the Emperor, and I'm content to be here. I don't need to worry about it. If you wish, what do you want to know? Well, there isn't much to tell. I'm just a simple merchant trying to ply his trade in a town that resists spending money. One day the gods will recognize my suffering and elevate me to their ranks. Do come back when the weight of your silver is slowing you down. Always happy to help.
Wait, which one do you mean? Surely not that arrogant cowboy.
Don't be silly. He's the one with that marvelous dragon tattoo on his back. He must have quite a few young ladies pining after him by now. They say he's incredibly strong and can outlast almost anyone in the school.
All right, so Fendo has a little bit to say about Two Rivers, as well as Master Li. I do like that he kind of points out that since Master Li has been here, he's kind of, because he's so wise, he's able to kind of I guess, avoid major like economic disasters and stuff, which Fendo doesn't like so much because, you know, disasters, he says, are good for business, essentially. So, interesting.
Hey, boys, look who it is.
Is that the one gal the Lesser's always going on about?
I think so. I say we teach a little lesson about staying in your place when great men like Gao are around.
Oh, I like that answer. There will certainly be a lesson learned here today. All right, so these are the drunken soldiers. We're gonna make some short work of these guys. A little bit of, you know, experience, as well as some money, it looks like. So no reason not to take care of these guys in here. Splat! Just making it rain over here. Rain blood, that is. Just committing some war crimes. Anyways, all right. What else should we talk about? I always feel like, you know, at any second we can start more conversations with people, so it's tough to squeeze stuff in. But that's about it as far as what we can do in town right now. So we'll just head back to the school and kind of continue on with some of the side quests, or maybe I should say we'll start another one of the side quests, which is going to be healing Kia Min. And that will involve a couple of the NPCs that we actually just spoke with. So we'll go, like I said, we'll go take care of that. And then at this point, once we've gone back into town, we'll be able to train with Smiling Mountain, which will actually get us another technique. I don't remember which one it is exactly, but here's CPAT is back in his spot. So again, if I never tested this, but I was wondering if you can still get closed fist points off of him if you weren't able to talk to him earlier.
Run the village. I hope I equal your skill someday. Please do not. I'm barely worthy. What do you... Oh, good. Master Li was...
So there, like I said earlier, it actually just really looked like he had similar conversation topics from earlier. So again, I'm not sure if you can still get those closed fist points off of him if you didn't speak with him initially. Basically, before you speak with Master Li for the first time. So again, I don't know. I just did it, when I was able to, early, and took care of it then. But all right. Anyways, I'm gonna head into the school gate here, and I think Kia Min. Oh, I guess maybe I'll talk to Jingwu too.
Glad to see you're still well. By most reports, you've faced down many of those bandits yourself. Impressive, senior student. Now you're sounding ever so slightly like Gao. To hear Gao's side, he pushed back the bandits, but I know you dealt with the greater share of them. Of course, it was best that our master was there to deal with that sorcerer. The stories about their confrontation spread quicker than a plane's fire.
You are the hero of the moment. Gao claims that he dealt with hordes of bandits, but everyone else agrees that you turned aside their main attack. It is good that you were here. My foolish lack of attention forced Master Li to come to my rescue, and left me with a wound that will take a few weeks to heal. Master Li assures me I will heal in time. It's a shame, as Smiling Mountain was teasing me just yesterday with some special prize. Smiling Mountain trains students in group combat, and just yesterday I managed to break your record for the number of opponents faced at once. He teased me by saying if I could go one higher, he might have a prize for me. I suppose he might make the same offer to you, if you're up to it. If I could fight, he could likely round up enough opponents for you to make a run at a new record, but I can't face anyone with this wound. Unless you can speed up time, I'm not sure there's much that can be done. Master Li has already tended to it. Then again, I vaguely recall a grass or herb that hastens the healing process. Someone like Old Ming might know for sure. He's quite interested in herbs. I think so, though I can't remember the name. It was some kind of rare grass, I think. I'm not sure, but if you had to buy it, I'd happily pay you back for the trouble you went through. This wound will heal in time regardless, but I wouldn't complain if it knitted faster. All the quicker to return to my training. When he's not I know if I'm lucky, he might know of an herb. And if heaven smiles upon me, he'll know where to find some. If you have to buy anything, let me know what it costs and I'll pay you back happily. It would be worth it to get back to training. I haven't talked to many of the newer students. The only one I have strong opinions about is Gao. He and I have sparred many times. He's come dangerously close to injuring me, and I've seen his aggression hurt others. I've expressed my concerns to Smiling Mountain, and he wisely advises me to focus on myself. If I let my anger get the better of me, I'm no better than Gao. I'll answer what I can. Master Li cares deeply for all of us, despite his stern demeanor. Look how he came to my rescue when the bandit's spell left me wounded. I've heard a rumor that the man leading the bandits seemed to know Master Li, but I really couldn't say why. It's scary to think they came here with a purpose, though. Why don't you ask Master Li? I can only feed you answers that are common knowledge. Some of the other students might help you more. Wen is the most widely traveled here, and Lin hasn't been able to stop talking about ghosts, which is a nice change when we're talking about everyone else. If you have questions about history or philosophy, I recommend avoiding us students. Learn about the past from those who were there. Take care. Oh, and if you happen to find anything that might help this wound after you talk to Old Ming, let me know.
To hear Gao tell it, he single-handedly beat back the bandits. But I know you did the lion's share. Too bad I was stuck up here minding the younger students. It would have been great to see Master Li deal with that sorcerer. We so rarely see our master's true abilities in action. What do you need from me? You think I will talk about them behind their backs? I will, but I don't want people to think of me as the local gossip, even if I am just that. Leave something on your...
I heard how you faced those bandits in the village. Many people are impressed, but I expected no less. Your skill is a match for any rough bandit. I know you haven't had much time for simple sparring. It is too bad.
Okay, so most of the students here just talk about how Gao has essentially tried to play up his participation in the raid, or the bandit raid, and he didn't really do much. Whereas we were out there taking care of business. At this point now, we can buy a couple of Smiling Mountain's techniques here. Actually, just bought two. I think if you're playing open palm, you might want to hold off on that. I think some of the gold, especially that gold from the chest there, we actually need in town because there's an NPC that we'll need to give that back to. But again, since we're playing Closed Fist, that's not going to be relevant. So actually, I'm about out of time here. So as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.